Who are some of the musical artists that helped shape you to the person you are today?
I always take influence of what I grew up to. I think a lot of listening as a kid, especially from what my parents listened to. So a lot of like 90s grunge and Nirvana and Radiohead. I think, obviously Nirvana was such a pioneer for alternative music, and Radiohead always was so unique. And they always were striving not to be popular, but for uniqueness. So I think I always like when I'm making music, I always try to make something unique or something different and always better, because those bands always did that. So that's always so close to my heart, those childhood bands to me.
How would you describe the sound of the music that you make? Is it pop or is it more alternative? Is it a little bit of both?
I think it's kind of like it's so many genres. Like it's such an umbrella genre, that's so hard to pin down. I feel like it's like a pop alternative indie electronic. Those are a lot of genres, but I feel like that's like a good like umbrella genres of what I'm creating. But I also love to be in all of those spaces. Like all of those spaces have so many good artists and so much good music, and it's so much fun to be able to play around in those spaces as well.
Well, you have two songs out now. Please don't hate me and stand by. I'm curious your songwriting process. Do you need to have music before you can craft a lyric, or is it the other way around?
Typically, yeah, it is. I kind of feel somewhat inspired. And I never write when I don't feel like I have something to say or I'm inspired. Um, so typically I'll just grab my guitar and start playing around, and really that sets the mood for what I'm going to write and what I'm feeling. But it's always like it's trying to marry those two, the lyrics and the guitar, and trying to make this like relationship between these two things become a song. That is like my favorite part. I love the writing process because it's such a diary for me and journal. And like, if I'm not understanding what I'm feeling, I'm like, oh, I just need to write. Like, I just need to get it out. Like, totally, every single time.
Well, these two songs are off your debut EP, Bloodstone. What kind of fan response have you been receiving to it so far?
It's all been great. It's all been very wonderful, and too to see like it be on like radio stations, and it's the first project being released. It so far has been so good. But it's just crazy after 6 years, like actually having something out and actually having something people can respond to. Um, it's cool. I'm so excited for this kid to continue and get even more response, and I love it. Everybody's been so opening and welcoming, and it's just been great.
What are some themes you explore on Bloodstone?
Definitely. I feel like the whole EP is very much this like indie coming of age film. Like that's how I view it. Um, a lot of it I wrote when I was like growing up as a teenager and having these feelings, like I said, that I didn't understand, and going through these relationships for the first time and experiencing love for the first time. Um, it's definitely like just the anxiety and loneliness and doubt and love and all of those feelings that you cannot digest as a 16-year-old that is trying to be digested in an EP.
Well, my favorite song is Blue Scars. Do you have a personal favorite single on this EP?
I love Haunted. I think it's definitely more of an alternative sound, and I think that song like always forever will hit true to me, being haunted by this past relationship and this past person, and always feeling them like on your shoulders and behind your back. And I also love the visualizer for that song as well. I think they had a like beautiful like connection. But that song will ever forever be close to my heart with this EP for sure. The Blue Scars is also like my number two, so good choice.
Chris Cody lent a hand with production on this EP. How much of a say, though, do you have when it comes to the production side of the music you make?
I think for a very long time, there was this push and pull of trying to find that, growing up through this industry, because I started working with producers around 14. So I think Chris is the first producer that really understands that it's for the music. It's not for me or for him. And there's that mutual respect and trust there to be able to let both of our guards down and be able to do what's right for the music. Because I think that's so, it's always the most important thing. Like everybody needs to be doing it for the music, not for themselves or their own ego. It's so, so important to be able to make actually good music.
Have you started playing some of the EP live?
Not yet, but I am so unbelievably excited to start doing that. Performing is my like number one thing I'm so excited to start doing, especially around Austin too, because there's so many cool venues and so many cool people to meet. It's like so, so much fun. But the real fun has yet to come. But I'm jazzed about that.
All right, I'm looking forward to hearing people's reactions to these songs when you perform them, either acoustic maybe, or
Yeah.
are you working on a plan to set up for some live performances to come?
I have I'm doing some like private ones, but never are not I've not heard from some like bigger ones, or I think there's some maybe with radio stations that we might be trying to get, but nothing is set in stone just yet. But I am always pushing to do that because that would just be incredible.
What do you hope lingers with people that explore Bloodstone, either an emotion or a message?
I think that I mean my motto is to be cringe is to be free. And I think it's so important to truly be your authentic self. And in this EP, I was really being like my authentic 15-year-old self or my authentic 17-year-old self, you know. Um, I just think that if you truly want to connect with people and even as an artist or creative, truly want to connect with people, you have to be yourself and you have to be something different and unique because being yourself is something different and unique. You don't have to be somebody else, you know?
Well said, my goodness.
Thank you.
Is there someone you would love to collaborate with on a song in the future, maybe for a forthcoming album or EP?
Oh, I've always been interested in working with Bad Bad Not Good, which is they do a lot of like jazz stuff and they did the opening intro for Adult Swim, but they I don't know, I like a lot of their jazz influences and things like that to have them on a production side would be very cool. But there's an endless amount of collaborations that I would just be so unbelievably excited to do. But I have yet to touch that part of the music side. But again, that's one of the things where I'm like, I cannot wait. Please let me do it.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music you make, Sophia?
Oh, thank you. That's like my from like the bottom of my heart and my soul. I this has been my dream my almost entire life. Um, and I could not be happy enough with how it's being received and how what people are saying. I mean, genuinely. Um, it's even if it like goes nowhere, I'm still like, this is incredible and amazing. And everybody has been so sweet and so nice. And I just want to, I feel like I'm just, it makes me want to create even more music, and share it with everybody. So it
Good.
feels great.